welcome to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and I'm so excited to share Pampered Chef's new quick cooker, which is an electric pressure cooker, with all of you tonight. I actually have one that's already up to pressure, so I can show you how to release the steam. And I have another one that we're going to use to make a really quick and easy beef stew recipe. I've actually never made this recipe before, so I'm going to be making it with you tonight for the first time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. All of the recipes I've made so far have been fantastic. So before we get started, please make sure you comment. Let me know where you are watching from. And also, please like this video, share it with your friends. The best thing that you can do for me to support my business without buying anything is to just share my videos, share the posts that I make, and like them as well. So comment, let us know where you're watching, and if you're watching the replay, make sure you let us know that you're watching the replay and where you're watching from. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I know that there are so many questions that come with pressure cooking. People have something in their mind that they think about it or that they're worried about it, and they're just really not sure if they want to dive right in. But I know so many people are asking about pressure cooker recipes because that's all the rage right now. And Pampered Chef likes to stay on trend with everything, and so because I've had so many questions about our quick cooker, how to use it, what different things that you can make with it, I decided to come to you live tonight to just share all about it. I've had my quick cooker since the first weekend in August, and I have used it probably 3 to 5 times a week since I got it. I have tried to make anything and everything possible, anything under the sun. I have neglected many other products that I really love in my kitchen just so that I can use the quick cooker and get experience using it so that I can share that with you guys. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. I'm going to turn this around, and we're going to go ahead and get started, but I'm going to tell you a lot of other things that you can do with this other than this beef stew recipe. But let's go ahead and start with the beef stew so that we can get it going and get the recipe moving along. So this is Pampered Chef's quick cooker. First of all, it's a beautiful appliance that's going to go very nicely with any kitchen decor. I love that it has a stay cool body so that you don't have to worry about burning yourself when it gets hot, or if you have little ones in your house that may come along and touch the side of this quick cooker. Couple things that you want to know before you start cooking with this. I'm going to go into lots more detail about things that you can do with it after we kind of get our beef stew going. But the first thing that you want to understand is the steam cloud and the release button. I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see this. So this is the top of the lid. This is the steam cloud, and you can actually pull this out. So if you ever have any residue from when you release the steam from the food inside, you can always take this out and clean it. This is the steam release button. So you see I can press it in and it pops the steam cloud up. Press it again, and the steam cloud's going to go back flush. Now you don't ever want to handle the steam cloud when your pot is under pressure. This is a safety feature that we added in because we don't ever want you to put your hands anywhere near this. We added a button so that you can press this and release all the steam. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the other pressure cooker that I have that's already under pressure. I just have it on a steam setting. It just has water in it just for the purpose of showing you how to release the steam. So first thing you want to do before you start cooking, make sure this button is not pressed in and that the steam cloud is flat and flush on the top. Now this little button right here pops up, so you can see it's not under pressure obviously because it's not on the pot, but when it's under pressure this little red button pops up, and on the other side there's a little lock that's going to lock this lid on so that you can't take the lid off while it's under pressure. There is a silicone ring in here. This is a seal and it does come out. The seal is dishwasher safe. I recommend that you wash it after every single use. You can wash it by hand or you can put it in the dishwasher. When you're putting it back in, and even if you've already put it back in and you're not, and you think that it's nice and tight, go ahead and check it, because if the seal is not tight, your food will not cook properly because the pot will not come to pressure. So that's the first couple of things that you want to make sure before you start cooking. Now this does have 16 pre-programmed settings, which I'm going to tell you all about in a few minutes, but we're going to go ahead and turn this to the sear setting, and all I have in here is the inner pot. So this is a 6-quart stainless steel inner pot. That's the only thing that I have in here. I'm just going to put it in here, set it to sear, press start. So people ask me, what is the sear setting? It's the same as if you put a skillet on your stovetop and you were sauteing vegetables, or you were searing your meat, browning ground beef, anything that you would do on your stovetop in a skillet or a stock pot, you're gonna do on the sear setting. So let's say that you wanted to make a soup or something and just use the sear setting, you can do that right here in this pot without even having to do anything on your stovetop. We're gonna put a couple tablespoons of olive oil right inside of that inner pot, and then we're gonna let it heat up for about 2 minutes. While we're waiting for it to heat up, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a couple of other things that you can purchase with this. Now, it does come with this little wire rack, and this would actually sit right inside of here if we were gonna do something called pot-in-pot cooking, where you actually can put another pot on top of this rack and cook 2 things at the same time. You also can use this rack for vegetables, you can use it for crab legs, you can use it for several different things. We do have some accessories that you can purchase separately. This is our springform pan, and it works like any other springform pan. You just pop the collar off and the base is separated. So you can use this to make desserts like cheesecakes and brownies, cakes and pies, breakfast casseroles. You can get really creative with that. And it comes with a little wire cradle. I just have one cradle out right now. So this is what the cradle looks like, and it's pretty cool. This is the ceramic pot and its silicone lid. Both the springform pan and the ceramic pot fit in the cradle, and then you would actually just set this, let me move this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. You can set this piece, we're gonna use our imagination, set this piece inside of your inner pot, put this piece on top of it, and there's gonna be water under here inside of the inner pot. You have to have water or liquid of some sort anytime you want the pot to come to pressure. That's a really important thing to understand. If there's no liquid in there, it's not gonna come to pressure. So this is just an example of one way that you can use a ceramic pot. So if you happen to come to one of my parties this month, you'll be able to see me share the salsa chicken and cilantro rice recipe. Basically, we put all the chicken ingredients into the inner pot, take this rack, put it straight down on top of all of the ingredients in the inner pot, and then we put our rice, water, butter, some salt right in here, put it on top of that rack, put the lid on, and then pressure cook that way. So this is just a couple of examples of things that you can do with this. I am gonna set these aside because our oil has heated up. It takes about 2 minutes for the oil to heat. Now that the oil's hot, I am gonna add in our beef stew meat. So I'm just gonna use a long-handled spoon, toss that in there. All right, and you can hear it sizzling. So I'm just gonna kind of let it sit for a minute, and then we're gonna saute that on all sides, and we're gonna add all of the other ingredients in, and then we're gonna pressure cook it. It does take about 35 minutes to cook under pressure, so we won't still be live when this recipe is done. So I'm gonna stir this a little bit, and then in a few minutes I'm gonna show you how to release the steam so you'll see what would have happened at the end of this recipe. And so we're just going to brown this on all sides, and it works really quickly. All right, so while we're browning the beef, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up an onion. So we're gonna use our manual food processor to chop the onion, and we're gonna use our veggie wedger for wedging that onion. So I'm gonna zoom in so that you guys can see. So first up, the veggie wedger, you take your onion, place it right here on the base of the veggie wedger, and you're just gonna press it straight down, and you can see how easy it is to wedge your fruits and vegetables that don't have a core. So you can use this for onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, citrus fruit, anything that doesn't have a core. We have an apple wedger that's great for apples and pears. We also have a pineapple wedger that's great, of course, for pineapples. We're gonna take our manual food processor. I'm gonna give our beef just a quick little stir here. Take the manual food processor. You see there's some blades on the inside. Place the onion around the blades. Put this on the top. Whoops, you gotta make sure it's lined up, and I didn't. There we go. And you're just going to pump the pressure. Now, if you're just joining in to our quick cooker class, I am making a quick cooker beef stew recipe and in our quick cooker right now, and I'm gonna share lots of other things that you can make with it after we get this all in the pot. This is our manual food processor. I'm just chopping up some onions. I'm showing you how to use it with a right-handed person. And if you happen to be left-handed, you're just gonna flip this lid around, put your right hand here, and then your left hand pushing down on that pedal, or paddle rather. And you can see you've got really finely chopped onions in here. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna finish browning the meat, and I'll tell you everything else that we're gonna add into this recipe. So I'm just gonna turn this so that we can continue to get it nice and brown. And then we're gonna add to this the onions that we just chopped. We're also going to add, and I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it in there, a teaspoon of Pampered Chef's Italian seasoning mix. We're gonna throw that in. If you haven't tried our Italian seasoning, it's fantastic. I'm also going to put in some salt and pepper, and I'm using Pampered Chef's peppercorn medley and our Himalayan sea salt. This is one of our most popular host items, the grinder set. They're very easy to fill. You just unscrew the cap and pour right in. All right, so you guys, there's a share button on your screen. I would love for you to press the share button. There's even an invite button. You can invite other people to watch this with you. So if you know somebody who really loves to cook, or you know that they're interested in pressure cooking, go ahead and tag them or invite them to watch the video with us. All right, so we've got salt and pepper, Italian seasoning, and our beef. It's almost completely browned. In just a few minutes when we add the onions, I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons, which I already measured, of the Worcestershire sauce. So we've got that ready to go. I'm going to open up a can of tomato sauce, and we're going to use our smooth edge can opener for this. I'll zoom in again so you can see this up close. I like to start at the front of the can. You press the can opener up against the edge, give it a little twist, and it's going to attach itself to the can. You're going to turn until you bypass the starting point. Oops, I think I went all the way around. Hang on, maybe not. Yeah, I did. It's a small can. Then you're going to turn counterclockwise, and then you'll release the can. Now this gives you a smooth edge on the lid and a smooth edge on the can. So we're going to add our tomato sauce, Worcestershire, the chopped onions. We also have a bowl, which is 16 ounces of baby carrots. And I'm going to just keep the camera where it is because I'm going to show you how to dice up these potatoes. You can decide if you want to leave the skin on or if you want to peel them first. I decided to leave the skin on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this first in half and then cut it in half again, and then just go back across and dice this up. Now I'm using our flexible cutting mats, and when you don't stack them like I have them right now, they won't slip and slide around on the countertop. So I'm going to do this a couple more times. I've got 3 potatoes. The recipe called for a pound of potatoes. I just kind of guess when I get those. When things are supposed to be weighed. I know I could have a kitchen scale, but I don't use one. I'm more of an eyeball kind of cook. And I'll tell you guys, it's okay for you to guess when you're making recipes in your kitchen. Everything doesn't have to be measured. So when you're cooking, that's okay. When you're baking, you really kind of need to make sure that you pay attention to those measurements, because cooking and baking are very different. With cooking, you can kind of make things your own, but with baking, and you want to make sure that you're using the right amount of ingredients so that your delicious dishes turn out the way that they're supposed to. All right, so I cut all these potatoes in half, and then each half in half, and then just going back and slicing those into chunks. All right, so our pressure cooker that I was using over here is already finished with its steaming. So in just a minute, I'll show you guys how to release that steam. All right, before I add in all these ingredients, I'm going to add 2.5 cups of chicken broth, beef broth. And I just realized that was only 2, so let me add 1/2 cup of water. I didn't measure it very well. I just used the beef bouillon cubes and just dissolved them in water. So I'll just add a little bit of extra water. The reason you want to add this broth in at this step is so that you can just scrape the bottom of the pan to to scrape off all those brown bits. The brown bits on the bottom of the pan are called fond, and it's basically just means tasty brown bits. There's a lot of flavor in that. You don't want them to be black and burned, you want them to be brown. And there's lots of flavor in this, so basically we're just deglazing the pan, but there's no need for you to take the beef out for this step. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of our potato cubes. Pour those in. We're gonna add our tomato sauce, and I will say that this can of tomato sauce is just a little bit smaller than the recipe called for. Again, you can improvise. Don't feel like that it has to be exactly perfect. We're gonna add the onions. We're also gonna add some garlic, and I know a lot of you guys have the garlic press. It's one of the things that people tell me at my parties is their favorite product. When we go around and we have everybody share their favorite product, that's a very, very popular product that I hear from people. So I'm gonna show it to you in case you haven't seen it. So with our garlic press, it's really cool. You don't have to peel the garlic first. You're gonna just take this little cleaning tool off. Let's see if I can zoom into our pressure cooker here. And you just aim the garlic where you want it. And then when you're done, let me give it a little bit bigger view. You just take the little cleaning tool and just scrape it right off. So I'm gonna do this 2 more times, and then we're going to put the lid on and let it come to pressure. It does take 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the recipe, to come to pressure. So you're gonna add that pressurizing time to the cook time. So this particular recipe is probably gonna be more like an hour-long recipe because you need about 10 minutes to come to pressure, 35 minutes to cook, and then there's a 10-minute natural release time. I'll set this over here. And then I want to forget these carrots. Cooked carrots and beef stew are one of my favorite, that's my favorite way to eat carrots. All right, so I'm just gonna put the lid on here. So you just press it on the top and then turn it. I'm gonna press cancel because we're done with that step. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna press custom. When you choose custom, that's a high pressure. Now I'm gonna change the time, so I press time, press to 35 minutes, and then press start. And just remember, we talked about this before, you want your steam cloud to be flat or flush, and your seal is nice and tight on the inside. So let me get my other pressure cooker. I'm gonna unplug this one. And I wanna show you guys, you see this feature? We have handles on the sides. You do not ever want to carry it from the top. Now when I put it down, I bet you guys saw some of this little pressure kind of spit out. If you drag this on the counter when it's under pressure, it is going to spit a little bit. If you can see behind me, if you don't have an island in your kitchen where you can pressure cook and release the steam without it being underneath cabinets, then you're going to probably be cooking underneath cabinets like this. And so when it was facing up against the wall like that, what I do when I finish is I just flip it around so that the steam cloud is facing away from the cabinets. You do not want to release the steam under your cabinets because it can damage the wood from on your cabinets. So you just face it away, make sure nobody's in the way, and then you're going to press this button and you're going to be able to release all of that steam. So for this pressure cooker, it only had water in it. So that's all that's inside right now is water. But I just wanted to run a steam cycle so that you could see how to release the steam. So what I'm doing here is what we call a quick release or a manual release. It is not a natural release. A natural release is where you just do nothing and you wait for this red pin to drop down. But with a quick release, you push the button when it's done cooking and you let all the steam out, and then when the red indicator button goes down, then you can open the lid. So you see right now, I can't really open the lid. There, the button just dropped down because the steam is out. And you twist it and pull the lid off, and then it comes right off of the top, okay? So this just has water. I'm gonna close it if I can because of the steam. I may not be able to close it. That's okay. I'll just turn it around here so you can see the front. I just don't want to spill this hot water on me. All right, so all of these, there are 16 pre-programmed settings on the quick cooker. So you have a sear setting, steam setting, which the sear, like I mentioned before, is just like you're cooking on your stovetop, you're cooking in a skillet or a stock pot. The steam setting is great for vegetables. It's also great for like crab legs. We have a slow cooker feature. So this product can replace your crock pot or your slow cooker. We have a proofing setting. So with the proof setting, you can actually make bread, and I have some made for you that I'm going to show you in just a second. You can also make with the white rice button, you can make perfect white rice. There's a brown rice button, whole grain button, the chicken and poultry button, which when you're making the salsa chicken, you put all the salsa chicken ingredients in the bottom of the inner pot, you add the rack, add your the ceramic pot with the rice on the top, press the chicken button, and press start. That's all you have to do. It's so quick and easy. There's a beef and pork button, a fish and seafood button, soup and stock, beans, which you can also use to make boiled peanuts. And I didn't mention this earlier, but on the steam button, you can even make hard-boiled eggs. We have a stew and chili button. There's a dessert button to make cheesecakes, cakes, pies, puddings, all kinds of things. And then the custom setting is high pressure, which is what we are doing right now with our beef stew that we have going in the other pressure cooker. There's also a keep warm setting, which it automatically switches over to a keep warm setting as soon as it's done pressure cooking. So it's really great to be able to do that. I'm gonna set this aside, and then I'm gonna show you some of the other things that I have made in this. All right, so I know you guys have seen some of my other videos, but if you haven't, I just wanna show you a few things. So here we have this multi-grain bread. Is this not gorgeous? So I have to zoom in and show you guys that. So I made this multi-grain bread in the ceramic pot accessory. I did this in the quick cooker. On the proof setting is how you make it rise. So instead of having to wait hours for your bread to rise before you bake it, you can put it in the quick cooker ceramic pot, put it inside of the inner pot, press the proof button, which is 30 minutes, and then you proof the bread. This takes two rounds of proofing. The recipe is really quick, it's really easy, and this is a multi-grain bread, and it smells so good. It took everything in me not to cut this morning when I made it, so I can't wait to heat up a slice of this for breakfast in the morning and add some butter to that. So the proof setting on your quick cooker is great for proofing breads, for whether you're making a loaf of bread, or if you're making cinnamon rolls, pizza crust, anything that you're gonna make that's using yeast, then you're gonna be able to use the proof setting. You can also use the proof setting to make yogurt. And by the way, all of the recipes that I'm telling you about are in the group, in the Flip Flop Chef page that we're live in right now. Most of the recipes, if not all of them, are also in my recipe group, which you can find at theflipflopchef.com. There are 2 different pages, but all of the recipes should be in both places for this. So this is the ceramic pot. Isn't it beautiful? You can use this to just serve food, even if you haven't cooked it in your quick cooker. So I love this. It also matches our gray stone stoneware. So you can make breads. How many of you watching, I want you guys to comment in the chat and tell me, how many of you right now have a whole frozen chicken in your freezer that you keep forgetting to defrost to cook? It's just sitting in your freezer because you don't have time to cook it when you get home from work or wherever you have been for the day, because it's frozen and you don't have time to thaw it out. So people tell me all the time they have frozen chicken sitting in their freezer. This product allows you to cook from frozen. And you get this quick cooker. It's called a cooking guide, but I call it the Quick Cooker Bible. It pretty much tells you how to cook everything that you want to know how to cook. So the first page is going to give you 3 really quick, easy recipes, and I recommend that you start with these 3. I'll zoom in. Not sure how good you can see this since it's small print. But the first 3 recipes: no soaked beans, hard-boiled eggs, and the salsa chicken. Make these 3 recipes first, and you're going to feel like you're a pro at using our quick cooker. The next few pages have literally instructions for everything that you need to cook. A whole page of bean recipes tells you how long to cook them, how much water to use. A whole page of grain and rice recipes. We have 2 pages of vegetables, and then 2 pages of meats. So the really cool thing about this is you can take a whole chicken that's frozen in your freezer, take it out of the package, clean it out if it comes with the nice goodie packages on the inside, clean it out, put it inside of your quick cooker, and you just look in your guide, and it's going to tell you from frozen for a whole chicken is 40 to 45 minutes. It tells you how much water to add, tells you exactly what to do and how to cook it. So it's very, very easy. You really can't mess it up. So you can make whole chicken, you can do a turkey breast. I did a 3-pound frozen turkey breast in here with mashed potatoes on the bottom a couple weeks ago. It was delicious. You can make applesauce, boiled peanuts, ribs, cheesecake, pot roast, yogurt. You can make yogurt using the proof setting, which is so much easier than I ever imagined making yogurt would be. It's not something I ever thought I would make. You can also make elderberry syrup, which I made a few weeks back, maybe a couple months ago now, it's been a while. But you see, I still have a good bit of the elderberry syrup here, and definitely saving some money rather than spending $16 and $17 for a small bottle of elderberry. And this is great for colds and flu. So I made that right in the quick cooker. And there's a video on the same page that I'm live in right now showing you how to make that. Another thing that I love that I was able to make in my quick cooker is homemade vanilla extract. So I have this whole bottle, it's not full anymore, of homemade vanilla extract. I chose to make bourbon vanilla. I think I'm gonna order some more beans so that I can make vanilla extract with vodka. Vodka is gonna give you a cleaner tasting vanilla. With this bourbon vanilla, you're gonna taste the bourbon, especially if you're using it in something that you're not going to cook or bake. So for example, if you're gonna make whipped cream with heavy cream, if you add the bourbon vanilla, you're definitely gonna taste the bourbon. You may like that, but not everybody does. And so if you wanted a cleaner taste, then you would wanna use vodka. There's a video in this page showing you how to make your own homemade vanilla extract. If you didn't know already, the price of pure vanilla extract has tripled over the last couple of years. So if you go to Publix and you try to buy a small bottle of vanilla extract, it's gonna be more than $15. It's crazy how much it costs. I did spend more than $15 on this, but this is way, way more than what I would be getting in there. So the cost per ounce is way less. You can also use this to make soup, stews, stock, chili. You can make beans and pasta, pork, hot wings. Really anything that you can think of, you can make in a pressure cooker. I am so blown away with all the things that I can make in here. And I like it because I can sort of have those dump the fridge meals. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but when you don't know what to make, but you have some meat, you have some vegetables, you know, put them all together, add some seasonings, and just make something up as you're going. And you can clean out your fridge and you have a great meal. So this is the Pampered Chef Quick Cooker, and if you notice this is still kind of turning here, that's because it's still coming to pressure. As soon as this comes to pressure, this dial is going to stop spinning and it is going to switch to a countdown feature. It's going to count down from whatever setting you set it at when you press start, and then when it runs out of time, it is going to count up from there. And the count up feature, whoops, I was trying to zoom in on the quick cooker. The count up feature is going to tell you how long the food has been warming. So when this is done, so it's going to click over to 35 minutes counting down whenever it comes to pressure. And I know you can't see it from here, but I can see that little red pin coming up. So if you're ever wondering, is it coming to pressure? Has it taken too long? If that red pin is moving its way up, then it is building up the pressure. You may even see a little bit of steam escape around that little red button. That's okay, but as soon as it comes to pressure, you're gonna actually kind of hear it go, and you'll hear it seal. And it holds the pressure in, and it's gonna stay in until you either quick release it when it's done, or until it naturally releases the pressure. So this is gonna cook for 35 minutes, and then we're gonna let it naturally release for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we'll do a quick release of whatever's left in there, and then all we'll have to do at that point, I almost forgot this step, is we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So we're gonna put those together, and you can just mix it with the tablespoon, and you're just gonna stir it into the pot, into the stew, and it's gonna help thicken it up. And you guys know beef stew is a great recipe that's served leftovers, and I think leftovers sometimes taste better than the first time that you make it. So we'll stir this cornstarch and water mixture in when we finish releasing the steam. So if you have any questions for me about the quick cooker, put them in the chat, and I'll actually be messaging everyone a little something. So if you're commenting, you're gonna get a message from me tomorrow, and I'm gonna send you a little something special into your inbox. So make sure that you like my page and that you know that you're gonna be able to get messages. So if you have any questions, I'll be getting back with you a little bit later on all of those. I can't wait to eat this soup. And I can't wait to help each of you get a quick cooker. You can purchase it from me, or of course you can host a party to get it for free or for 50% off. I hope you guys enjoyed all the information that I shared with you today. I know it's a lot of information to take in when you're talking about something new that has so many different features, but this product will totally change the way that you're cooking. So I appreciate you watching. As always, please like and share this video with your friends, and I hope you have a great night. I'll see you next time.